Hey guys, it's Comic Quiz here bringing you another comic review, and today I'm going to be doing Superior Spider-Man issue 18. So yeah, this is continuing on from the whole issue where Spider-Man 2099 comes to the present to solve a situation that's affecting the future. So he has to come back into the past and fix it so that the future will be alright again. So this brings him into a conflict with Spider-Man of the present, who is Doc Ock, obviously. And the beginning was actually quite interesting because they get into like this little brief fight, but it wasn't so much the fight that was special. It's like the way Doc Ock reacts that was special for me. Like, because they both have claws and everything, they scratch each other, but Doc Ock doesn't get through to Spider-Man 2099 because his suit's made from EMF material, which is pretty much indestructible. And this pisses off Doc Ock because because this, coupled with the fact that Spider-Man 2099 is able to injure Doc Ock and then pretty much calls him low tech, looking down on him. And remember, Doc Ock hates people looking down on him. He thinks he's like the smartest, the strongest, everything. You know how egotistical he is. So it's cool when the way he reacts to it. He's just like, no one calls me low tech, no one. And then he picks up this giant car, is about to throw it on Spider-Man 2099. Until Tiberius, the guy who he comes back to save, intervenes, and he activates this device which messes up Doc Ock's spider sense and almost inadvertently causes him to drop the car he was holding on Liz Allen and her son. But Spider-Man 2099 is able to save them. But with this distraction, Spider-Man 2099 is able to get out of there with Tiberius, who we also find out is Spider-Man's grandfather. So then, when they get away, Spider-Man 29 then contacts, he's in contact with Tyler, who is actually secretly his father, but his father doesn't know that Spider-Man 2099's his son. So they're all in contact, saying that you have to keep him safe, to protect him, blah blah blah. But then Tiberius overhears this and he's like, what are you all talking about the future and ancestors? But Spider-Man 29 is all like, oh, shut up, let me think and stuff. So in order to prove his point, he decides to jump off a building just to see why Spider-Man would risk himself to keep him safe. So then he finally gets his answer when Spider-Man does save him from falling from the building. He realizes that the guy who Spider-Man's talking to is probably one of his descendants, that his descendants or himself will do something great in the future. But Spider-Man is so pissed with Tiberius that he just webs him up to the wall and decides to get as much information as possible on Tiberius and why he's what's his connection with Horizon Labs and Alchemax. And when he finds this out, he realizes that Tiberius is actually supposed to cause the destruction of Alchemax, not destruction of Alchemax, sorry, the destruction of Horizon Labs, which is supposed to occur on that very day. So then Spider-Man, I'll just call him Spider-Man from now on. So he, with Tiberius, heads over to Horizon to go and stop it. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Doc Ock, he's frustrated, which is actually another cool thing I liked about this issue. We see him frustrated because his spider senses are unreliable, his drones aren't working, his personal life now is a mess. His doctorate, the way that's panning out, might be hindered because of the fact that Liz Allen, who I'm not sure who she's working for, but she's pretty much trying to take over Horizon Labs, and this will, in doing so, will give her and her company claim over Doc Ock's work. So he's really frustrated about this. He doesn't want anyone to touch his work, that this is his work, that his work far exceeds Peter Parker's, as we all know he says. So he decides to go back in his Peter Parker form and decides to take all his stuff out of the lab, even though he was told not to, which inadvertently gets him fired because the owner of Horizon Lab, I think his name is Max, he's fed up with Peter now. He's sick and tired of his bad attitude, the fact that he has no care for anyone but himself, and he says, if you leave now, don't come back, you're done here, and obviously he leaves. Also, there's another side story with some of the employees at Horizon, because of this big portal that one of the employees was able to create. So he decides to use it on going back in time to get some information on, what's the dude's name again? Tiberius, the same Tiberius who everybody's all focused on. So he goes back in time and he finds out that he's actually the one that interrupted Peter Parker, the real Peter. He interrupted Peter Parker's Parker particle demonstration during the Amazing Spider-Man run, where the and which is what gave what's the dude's name, Andy Maguire his powers. So there they find out that it wasn't a freak accident. It was actually Tiberius that sabotaged this. So then they were going to use this information against him when this guy returns back to the present. But then Spider-Man 2099 comes to warn them that something's going to happen at Horizon Labs. So they all want to listen to him so they can explain the situation. But before they were to do so, Doc Ock comes, thinking like he's the big Mr. Macho, comes behind, knocks Spider-Man out, and he's not able to deliver his message. So then he's all like, yeah, that's what you get for messing with me. Then everybody just looks at him, is like, wait, what? Why are you all looking at me? And that's where the issue ends. So I really like this issue, to be honest. It was really good. It was really entertaining, really. Just seeing Doc Ock being his old classic self again, being so obnoxious. The fact that he doesn't like to be talked down to, even though he does it so much himself, which is kind of ironic, really. It was just interesting. It was cool just to see all of that. Even though he is a hero, as he claims now, he still is the same Doc Ock at heart. And just to see that his general personality has got him in trouble now. He's been fired from Star Labs, and everything's not going great for him. And we'll just see just the lengths he would go just to help himself and only himself. So that was all cool to see. Also, the stuff with Spider-Man 2099 was also pretty interesting. Just seeing also his conflict, the conflict within him, because he was thinking, because of the future he comes from, it's ruled by Alchemax, which is actually run by his family. So he's thinking, should I do something to prevent this from happening? Even though it may affect the future, I have responsibility. So this conflict's been ringing around in his head, which is something also really cool to see. Excuse me. So it makes you wonder, what is he going to do? Will he end up changing the future? Changing the past, sorry. So changing the past, which will eventually change the future. So yeah, all of that. Also, there was a really funny bit with Mary Jane, to be honest, which I really liked, where Doc Ock's on the phone changing into his Spider-Man gear again, and then Mary Jane calls him, and she's all like, Peter, I've been trying to get to you for ages, and Doc's like, well, not now, woman, I'll deal with you later, which was, I really laughed when I saw that. Just classic Doc Ock, really. Also, I forgot to mention, there was this little bit with the Hobgoblin, who he's trying to bait Spider-Man into coming to confront him, but we actually find out it's not actually Hobgoblin, but it's the Goblin Emperor. So that was really kind of pointless, to be honest. Didn't really need to see that, but yeah, that was there. So overall, I give this issue a 8.5. A really good issue, really fun. It was entertaining. It was fun to read, so enjoyable, and also the artwork, it was done by Ryan Stegman, so that was really good. That was really good, on point. And yeah, that's it for this review, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Tell in the comments down below what you thought of this issue, and what do you expect to see in future issues with this current story arc with Spider-Man 2099. Also, don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. This has been Comic Quiz, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.